been a while since I've been down here, and now, of course, I think the last time I was here there was still a few ducks, and now look at all these beautiful egrets. The ducks are gone. The egrets have taken their spot. Aren't they beautiful? Quite a scene. See one catch a fish. You know what they really like too is the little crabbies, if they're small enough. There's all kinds of food in there for them. But to watch the seasons change. There's the herrings and the egrets. They stay here pretty much year-round, although I think they migrate some. They're here most of the year. Well, they're here all year, but I think some of them migrate somewhat, and it seems like there is more in the summer, in the warm months. But I can't say for sure. I'd have to ask somebody or look it up. I don't want to think they're beautiful. Over here. They haven't been disturbed too much this morning. Egrets really don't like to be close to people. Neither do the ducks, but I think the ducks, they just get in here and they feel like they're in their safe spot. But the egrets aren't like that. See, that guy just walked up there and that's it. They're gonna fly away. A few more people start coming down. So it's still early. So a lot of people haven't shown up yet. It's Memorial Day. They'll move away from here. They'll move back to the other side of the pond. The fishing must be good right here for them to even tolerate him going up. But yeah, they're moving. They're going to get a little further away, and then more people are going to come. And they'll get even further away. They'll just keep moving back. Skittish. They're very observant too. They have those long necks. You can see pretty far away from where they're standing because their necks are, I don't know what kind of eyesight egrets have, but they're obviously not sitting right down on the water so they can look up and look around, spot things. Flies. A biting fly. I got him and he didn't even phase him. Anyhow. Beautiful, beautiful morning here in late May. June 21st is the first day of summer. That's the the summer solstice. So we're less than a month away from the first day of summer. Days are getting long now. Hear all the little birdies chirping. Beautiful, beautiful place. Great-grandfather, Grandpa Bill's papa, used to come over here, and before that was hooked up to a central power system, they had a generator that ran the lighthouse. So that was one thing your great-grandfather did after he was a World War II veteran, and he was in the Coast Guard, and after the war he was back here and continued to serve in the Coast Guard. And one of the things he did later in his career was come over here and turn that generator on so the lighthouse would be lit for the boats out at sea. And I think Grandpa Bill used to ride over here with him sometimes and turn it on. And then way back, it's an old lighthouse. You go back far enough, I think it must have been oil lit. It had to have been. I think they used whale oil. Red-winged blackbirds are pretty. Just chirping away. I love you. Make sure you thank God for everything that you have, and just know that you can practice being observant and mindful, and that you have a lot of, we all do as all humans, a lot of ability to mold yourself, but it requires self-awareness, you know, and just being in nature is one thing that helps that. We're kind of in a certain state of mind when we get into nature, but you have to be aware that there's many influences in our lives, and we have to be thankful for that, because that's what makes our life what it is. I mean, we live in a world, in a universe, in a society where it's all interconnected, and all the influences that affect us when we're young, you know, create a foundation. But then if you're aware and you're told and you're empowered to know that you can focus on the good things in life, the beautiful things in life, the spiritual things, that you are as much a part of this universe as anybody else. You're as much a part of this earth and this society as anybody else. You don't have to conform to what's popular. You don't have to conform to what other people think is this or that or the other. You can look at the beautiful landscape and the adventures that are life. And when I say you don't have to conform, what I mean is you want to resist the marketing and the popular ideas and the things that, especially, you want to have friends and you want to have peers, but everybody that you're going through life with, they're all dealing with their own situation, and a lot of times it makes one person feel good to convince another person to be a part of what they're doing, because company feels well. But you can be kind to people and you can have friends, but at the same time stand on your own 2 feet. It's within us to know what really happiness is and joy is, and what the beautiful and pure things are. Our body is meant to naturally appreciate the better things in life. And we have these things that create these dopamine releases in our brain at different, all through our lives, and it seems like at different times in our lives we're more susceptible to one thing than to another, but there's shortcuts to dopamine release, and they can create so much dopamine at one time that our bodies get, sometimes we use the word addicted, but a lot of times addicted is usually most associated with some sort of specific or particular thing, like a substance, or maybe in this day and age something like social media or things along those lines, or other things that we do in excess. But even in lower levels of certain kinds of activities and behaviors that we want to either avoid completely or minimize, meaning there's some things that are sort of in the middle, that a certain amount of participation is a good thing, healthy thing, but you want to be able to control that, to know what is a good amount of something and what's an unhealthy amount of something. And some people, and it depends on the individual person, because some people tolerate a little bit more than another, but it would take something very innocent like a birthday cake. Some people would say don't eat birthday cake ever, it's just not good for you. But other people will not be able to control themselves, and they'll eat too much birthday cake. They'll eat a lot of birthday cake. They'll eat birthday cake every day if they can eat it, even when it's not a birthday. And the sugar and things in birthday cake, and this is just an analogy to many things, produces an increase in dopamine. Sugar does that. Not as much so as some more powerful substances like certain illegal drugs and that sort of thing, but you have to be careful, because you need to say, well, I want to enjoy a birthday with a friend. It's okay to eat some birthday cake, but you don't want to eat too much birthday cake. You want to eat just enough to celebrate. And so that's just a little analogy, that making yourself self-aware and bringing and connecting yourself with the good things, like just a peaceful environment in nature, and your art and those sorts of things, and your music and things that you're learning about, and eventually your job, your occupation, or whatever it is that you decide to put a lot of your energy into. Make those things that are good things, because it'll pay dividends within you. Your mind and your body and your spirit will be happy for choosing the moderation and the self-control. That's really how we're supposed to be. And a long time ago, before we had all these modern conveniences that kind of protected us, you had to practice these things. I mean, if you weren't smart and weren't aware of what you were doing, and didn't have moderation, and you would really risk endangering yourselves in a very real way. Before we had modern medicine and things that might be able to save us from a bad decision. Before, it used to be you just couldn't make a bad decision. And a lot of that is into self-awareness and self-control, and it also comes back to spirituality and your spirit and your belief in God and your Christian beliefs, and even that has its boundaries. You have to also be careful in your religions, not to be persuaded too far by the people who think that they know more about religion and your spirit than you do. You know what's inside of you. You know what's good. You know what's bad. Those beautiful creatures. I love you.